everybody. It is Friday, November 2nd. This is Live at 5. I am Caitlin Moynihan.
I'm Andy Lefkowitz.
And over there, we have Eric King.
Hello, everyone.
And we have
a
great guest today.
So exciting.
We have Caitlin Kinnunen here from the Prom.
Yes! We're so pumped to have her
So
here.
excited.
And I also want to say that yesterday, Torch Song opened.
It sure did, yes.
Harvey Fierstein, his revival, it's
Yes,
back.
it
We have a
sure
lot of coverage on the site right now.
Yes, indeed. Check it out, guys.
It was super fun. And this weekend,
Yeah.
American Sun opens.
It sure does on Sunday.
On Sunday, right?
Sunday. Just American Sun. I don't know. There's
That was
something
really
there.
good. I'm
so.
here for
I
it.
don't know.
So yeah, be sure to check out all that stuff. Congratulations to the cast of Torch Song. Early congratulations to the cast of American Sun. And now we're going to get into the top 5.
Let's do it.
A national tour meets a bit of a roadblock.
What? I love
all
that.
right.
Okay. So we found out today, very unfortunately, that the North American touring production of Bat Out of Hell, which is the Meatloaf musical, has actually been postponed. They're currently in Toronto, and they were about to start their U.S. tour in Denver starting next week, and it has now been held up. And we're not clear at the moment whether, when it's going to begin or what's going to happen. However, we do know that the New York run at New York City Center, which was just announced a few days ago, is going to proceed as scheduled. That's what we're being told.
Okay.
So, I guess we'll see what happens, but I certainly hope that the tour kicks off.
Yeah.
Because it was a big hit in London. It's still running there.
It's still running, right?
Until January, yeah. So I hope it actually
Fingers
kicks off.
crossed that they can
Indeed.
figure everything out so everyone can see it, because
Yes.
it sounds amazing.
Yeah, and it looks amazing too.
And the DIA days are over.
Oh, but that's okay, because guess what? We got casting change at the Phantom of the Opera. So Kaylee Ann Voorhees, she is currently the alternate Christine, but starting November 19th, she has taken over the role full-time from current full-time Christine, Allie Ewald. Allie's been there. She's been doing it for quite a few years, and she was the first Asian American actress to play Christine.
Yeah.
So she's going to take her final bow on November 17th, and then Kaylee Ann will take over the role on November 19th. And taking over Kaylee's job as the alternate is Erin LaCroix, who's going to make her Broadway debut.
Look at that.
So she's going to be the alternate. So they usually go on matinees.
I believe it's 2 matinees a week. I think it's the Wednesday.
The Wednesday and Saturday matinee, I believe. Yeah. And then the occasional thing. Like they're listed. The alternates are pretty great.
Serious vocal stuff that they have to do in that role.
Mm-hmm. You can say that again.
Crazy business, and it's amazing.
And also, fun fact: Kaylee is the youngest person to. Went on the first time she went on. As Christine, she became the youngest person to ever go on the role in New York.
No, what? She was 20,
She
right?
was 20 when she did it for the first time. Wow. She played Christine when she was in Prince of Broadway.
Oh, correct. Yes.
And then she just made her Met Opera debut. So the role is in great hands. Yes. Don't worry.
It's like, how much can you achieve until you're 25?
Literally.
And then, who knows what happens.
But then also there's another casting change. So Kelsey Connolly is going to make her Broadway debut as Meg Giry.
Very cool.
Beginning November 20th. And she's taking over the role from Kara Klein, who actually, she left in June 23rd.
Okay, yeah.
And so since then, we've just had
a couple actresses.
Polly Baird and Jessica Bishop have been kind of sharing that role. Okay. But starting November 20th, Kelsey Connolly is going to be completely taking over that role. So yeah, that's going to be that. And they're joining Ben Crawford, who's the Phantom, J. Armstrong Johnson, who's Raoul. Yeah. It's a great cast right now.
Cast. It's
the longest running musical for a reason.
Yes.
Okay.
Congratulations to LaCroix, my favorite seltzer on that one. The boss is getting an OBCR.
He sure is. I like that. So
Born to Run, baby!
Springsteen on Broadway, which is this big sold-out hit musical at the
Walter
Kerr Theater that you might have heard of. We found out today that it's being recorded for an album. This will come out the day before the show closes, December 14th. And it's also the day before the show will appear on Netflix, which we found out about a couple months ago. So if you can see the show, which you can't.
You can't.
You can now listen to it, or you can see it on Netflix. So it's going to be okay.
Everything's going to be A-okay for us.
Yeah, it's going to be fine.
And this musical is about to make history at its own theater.
This is actually pretty cool.
Yes, very cool.
The Book of Mormon, another show, maybe you've heard of it. It's been running for 7 years.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Something like that. So after tonight's performance, the Book of Mormon is officially going to become the longest running musical at the Eugene O'Neill Theater. So after tonight, it's going to mark its 3,183rd performance.
Oh my gosh.
It's breaking the previous record holder was the original production of Tobacco Road, which ran for 3,182 performances at what the O'Neill is now used to be called the Forest Theater, but because it's the same.
That play opened in 1933.
So it's been a minute.
Yeah, like serious. It's been a long time since the show has run this long at the O'Neill.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
It's pretty crazy. So super exciting. Congratulations to the cast that is currently led by Ryan Bondi, Cody Jamieson, and Kim Exum.
Very cool.
Love it. Congratulations, guys.
And a couple of Broadway faves are gathering together to honor this late composer.
Yeah.
So we found out a few weeks ago that the late Michael Friedman's final work, called the State of the Union Songbook, is going to have a 2-night reading at the Green Room 42 on election night. This is the first time it's ever going to be heard, and today we found out casting for that.
Super exciting.
Amazing cast of people: Crystalline Lloyd, Jill Sobul, Jamie Sabero, Julian Fleischer, Nick Blameyer, Lauren Molina, Connor Ryan, and several. Robbie Sublette, who's a longtime Civilians person, he's going to host it.
Amazing.
This is taking place on election night, November 6th at 7 o'clock and 9:30 at the Green Room 42.
Cool.
And when you go in, if you're wearing an I voted sticker, you get a free drink. And
Best
I can't
part
imagine
about
anyone going into this not having voted that day. So vote.
Don't forget to vote, everybody. It's really important, okay?
And check this out.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Annie. I always
You
love
bet.
when we get to have
Likewise.
this little shindig over here. Eric, can you tell us a little bit more about our guest?
I'd love to. Caitlin Kinnunen is currently starring in The Prom on Broadway as Emma, a role she originated during the show's world premiere in Atlanta in 2016. Kinnunen has previously appeared on Broadway in Bridges of Madison County and Spring Awakening. She was also featured in the national tour of Next to Normal. Be sure to follow her on Instagram at Caitlin.Kinnunen and leave all your questions in the comments below. Please welcome the two Caitlins.
Oh my gosh, hi.
Hello.
You're here.
I'm here.
And we spell our name the same way,
Yes.
which is the only way to spell it. I'm just saying.
Yes.
I, not a Y.
2 I's, no Y's.
I like that. I'm really
Yeah, if you tell
steal
that to people at Starbucks, though, they're like, what?
They just keep putting a bunch of I's everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, thank
great.
you. You're
like,
here.
that's great, Catherine.
Exactly. I got, Kylan yesterday.
That's new.
I know. I was like, that's not what I said, but okay.
That's not what I said, but okay. Well, we are so excited to have you. You're the first person representing the Prom to come on Live at 5. You guys just started.
So
when did you guys
exciting.
start preview performances?
We started October 23rd, so we've had like a full week and like a few days of previews. And
How's it going over there?
It's going really well. It's so much fun, and like everyone in the cast is just so excited to be a part of this show, and so to finally be able to do it every night has just been amazing and like super like overwhelming in the best way. So it's good.
Yeah, and you guys had that like really fun Casey Nicola performance, right?
We
Where it
did.
had like everybody from like Mean Girls, we had some Book
Yeah.
of Mormon, we got some Tuck Everlasting. Like, what was that like?
It was crazy. It was like performing in a rock concert. It was just like the love that was in that room that night was just like heart stopping. It was so cool to like walk out on that stage and know that everyone in that audience was like there supporting us and supporting Casey. And it was just like such a beautiful moment because that never gets to happen. You don't have like all of the casts that have been directed by one person like able to come and see the newest show they're doing. So it was really exciting.
That's awesome. Have you like wrapped your head around the fact that now you're like kind of part of that group
No.
of people now? Like you're like kind of part of that like Casey Nicola crew
Not
now.
At all. I feel like such a like poser because I'm like, well, I'm in a Casey Nicola show. I should be a dancer, and I'm like, I don't know how to dance.
Well, it's called The Prom.
I know,
You don't
and I do
dance?
dance in it, but pretty badly.
No.
So.
Well, I'm sure it's great. And before we get started, something that's literally going live right now. Can you tell us some exciting news?
Oh, well, it's very exciting because we have started a blog. I'm going to be the next
You're our next
Broadway.com
vlogger.
vlogger, and really great. And I'm
so excited.
Figuring out how to do it. So like bear with me. But it's going to be really great.
Really great.
We have affectionately named it Dance With Me.
I love
See
it.
what we did there?
I love it. And it starts
November 8th.
Which also happens to be
my birthday.
And people can get it every
Thursday.
Yes, for 8
weeks. Which feels like such a long time. Like
it'll go by really fast, I promise.
It will, but like people are going to be able to watch like so many, like in the next 8 weeks, so much is happening that people actually will get to see like cool parts of my life. Like it won't just be like, I'm in bed again. It's going to be like, no, I'm opening a Broadway show.
I know. I kind of just realized that we're going to be able to see it go from the end of previews, opening night, and then into the first like week or two of... Guys, you're in for a wild ride with Dance With Me. This is really exciting. I love when we get to kind of get a little peek early on. And we're so excited to have you.
I'm so excited.
Okay, we're going to get into the meat of this because you're back on Broadway.
I am back on Broadway.
In the Prom.
In the Prom.
When you first heard about this show, because you did it when it was in Atlanta.
Yeah, I've been a part of the show for 4 years now, which is crazy. Wow. I've never been a part of a show for that long. Mm-hmm. So
when you first signed onto it, did you have like what was that gut feeling telling you? What did you first think when you were like, yes?
It was interesting because when I first signed onto it, I didn't actually know what it was. So
Secrets.
when I know it's crazy. So when I auditioned for the show, it was an untitled musical, and there was the breakdown that was sent to us through my agent was just the two characters of Emma and Alyssa. I actually originally auditioned for Alyssa.
Okay.
And I went in and I was like, well, I'm clearly really wrong for this role, but okay, I'll pretend to be a cheerleader. So I like went in, did the scene inside for that. And then Casey was like, hey, so like you're clearly not this character, but we think you're right for Emma. Would you like step out and read these sides and like come back in and do them? And I was like, sure, of course. So I ended up doing that, and then I booked the role of Emma, and I still had no idea what the show was. We were like, okay, great people attached, so we'll see where this goes.
Yeah.
And then we did the first 29-hour reading, and it turned out to be this incredible show that had such an important message, and like all of these amazing actors in it. And so it was very overwhelming and like, oh my God, wait, what did I just sign up for? And then it just has like continued to be that every single day with the project of like, oh my God, I'm still doing this. Holy crap.
I feel like that's like such a, I feel like not a lot of people have that, get to have this experience that you've had to not only see the show come from in so many different stages, but just to be able to, 4 years, being able to be like, I get to do this. And so what first went through your head when you guys got that first round of like really great reviews? I feel like I like all of a sudden it was like, what? The Prom? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, I know the Prom, of course. What was that like?
It felt really good. You know, the show has such a positive message, and everyone working on it is really just like, they're the most incredible people. And so to have our show received in such a positive light feels really nice. And it's like, oh, the work we're doing actually means something and people are seeing that. And so it's exciting for us to finally get to share the show with people. And so the fact that people are responding well has always been really great.
Oh, that's amazing. And I feel like with this show that has such an important, like, it's hilarious, it's heartfelt, and like at the center of it, it does kind of, especially at this time of history, you know, the kind of core of it is just love. And there's a lot of hilarious and fun things, you know, trying to get to Broadway, these big time producers. But I mean, the thing that started all is you wanting to go to prom with your girlfriend. How do you feel like a sense of responsibility portraying these characters?
I do.
How has that impacted you, and especially bringing this show to Broadway at this particular time?
I feel very fortunate and lucky to be able to be playing this character, and I feel a tremendous amount of responsibility playing this character. I have always wanted to play her as a real person because she is a real person, and this story has unfortunately happened to many people in the United States. And so I never wanted her to be a caricature of that. And so, I don't know, just throughout the entire process, it's been like, no, I have to be truthful and honest to who Emma really is. And luckily we have amazing writers who've done such a good job of writing her in a way that like I've never really had to worry about it. But I feel a responsibility to like take care of Emma and make sure that she is portrayed in an honest and truthful way so that people can relate to her.
Yeah. When you were developing Emma and creating this character that's not a caricature, did you kind of have to delve back into your high school days, or were you like, I'm just gonna start all over, we're not going back there?
It was kind of unfortunately a start all over because I didn't actually go to high school.
Plot twist.
I know, plot twist. I didn't go to prom. I was homeschooled since 2nd grade, and so I had a very like interesting normal growing up and like school experience. Like when I was in high school, I was auditioning for Spring Awakening, and I ended up.
So you were on Broadway.
I like ended up moving to New York when I was 16 with my mom, and like figuring out how to make a Broadway debut at 16. So yeah, I don't have any of that like horrible like high school like nostalgia experience to pull from. I just have like awkward Caitlin years of like, what am I doing? So I pulled from that.
Do you think that was it kind of a little bit harder for you because you're like, I don't know, or do you think it kind of gave you a little bit more freedom?
I think it gave me a little more freedom, actually. I think because I have no like preconceived notions of what high school was like, I could really just like see what was on the page and delve into her true feelings about it and not have to bring any of my own baggage with me. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. And you know, going back to not normal things, yes, you did make your Broadway debut at 16 years old.
I did, yes.
I think I had maybe just gotten my license then.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's fine.
I didn't even get
that
my license
fine.
then, so it's all good.
It's fine. So, Spring Awakening, when you were auditioning for that show and you got booked in it, were you kind of like, yep, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life? Were you like, this is cool for now?
It's interesting because people ask me that question a lot, and like, theater is actually just like so like firmly ingrained in my body that it never really felt like a choice. Like I'd been doing theater since I was 3 years old. I started taking like classes and like doing summer camps because my sister was doing them, and so I was like, oh, I want to be like my sister. And so I started doing them at a young age, and then I booked my first professional show in Seattle when I was 11. And so it just was kind of always what I did. And so this felt, when I booked Spring Awakening, it was terrifying, but also like, oh, well, yeah, this kind of makes sense. Okay, I'll try this and we'll see how it goes. And, you know, it just kind of everything fell into place, and it's worked out the way it's worked out. And I'm extremely grateful. And like, I've worked hard to be here, but it's kind of always been what I do. So there wasn't really any other option. So yeah.
I think it's worked out pretty well. We'll say that. And I'm sure we have quite a few questions from fans, but I'm going to ask you one more question before, sorry guys.
Okay.
When you're looking back at, you're in the prom now, you started in Spring Awakening when you were 16, and all the things, you know, you were in Bridges in Madison County on Kelly O'Hara, Stephen Pasquale, like, and then Stephen's about to be an American Son, like, it's kind of little, and the Kelly O'Hara's coming back for Kiss Me Kate. Wow, you guys, oh my gosh, wow, everyone's doing something.
Broadway.
And Jessica Vasquez, Alphaba.
I know!
Everyone's
People
doing
from
something.
Bridges, like, are doing
Everyone's
very
doing something,
well for
and
themselves.
Derek might be coming back for something. So what does it kind of feel like to kind of like, have you been able to kind of take a step back and be like, whoa, or how is that, what's this journey been like?
Not yet. I feel like right now I'm just like such a like bundle of nerves and like, oh my God, I just have to get to opening, that like that's what I'm focusing on right now. But it definitely, like, I've had those moments throughout my life because it's just been like, oh my gosh, like I've put in this work and it's paying off, and like I have such an incredible support group surrounding me that it's nice to be able to show them like, no, all of the sacrifices we've made are actually worth it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's been really nice.
I love that. All right, Eric, what are the fans writing?
Okay, so one question is, what is your favorite Beth Level memory so far? Obviously,
oh my God. Okay, I actually have
Beth Level is starring in the show.
I have a really good one. Theater nerd at heart. So
Aren't we all?
I know. This is like a combo platter. Because both Izzy and I, Izzy plays my girlfriend in the show, have great Beth Level stories. So mine is that it would have been, I think it was like 2009, right after Spring Awakening closed. I was like, I had just seen Mamma Mia while she was in it. I was in love with her.
What a dream.
I was like sitting in Worldwide Plaza journaling because that's what 17-year-old Caitlin did is journaled. And I was like journaling in Worldwide Plaza, being like, oh, New York, it's so weird. And Beth Level walked by, and I was like, you can just like sit in Worldwide Plaza and Broadway stars like Beth Level will walk by, and it's amazing. So like that's my favorite Beth Level story, because like full circle, like 17-year-old Caitlin was like, oh my God, Beth Level. And now
like, what's up, B? What's going on?
This age, Caitlin is like, oh my God, I'm in a show with Beth Level. But then Izzy, bonus round, Izzy wrote a paper on Beth Level in school.
No
She had to
way.
like write a paper on like someone who inspired her, and she wrote it on Beth Level. And so when we did the show in Atlanta, she like fully gave this paper to Beth, being like, hey, I wrote this for you.
I wrote this.
How many pages was it?
It was like a paper. It wasn't like a thesis, but it definitely was like at least 3 pages.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's
so
like
just like a bunch of theater
iconic.
nerds working with Beth Level, being like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
I love that so much.
That's awesome. And we talked a little bit about like the great message, the LGBTQ themes. One fan would like to know, with Head Over Heels and now this show, how great is it that there's so much wonderful lesbian representation on Broadway right now?
It's amazing. It truly, like, one of the things that I love so much about this show is that, and I touched on it earlier, that we haven't made a caricature out of her. That Emma is a real person dealing with real issues, and we're not trying to shout like, oh my God, well, she's a lesbian, so it's like, ugh. No, she's just a person, and all she wanted to do was take her girlfriend to the prom. And so I think it's really important that the LGBTQ plus community is being represented on stage in a natural light, and one that is not trying to make them out to be something that they're not.
I love that.
Okay, and then this one is Bob Martin wrote the book for this
Yes.
show. What is your favorite funny line in the show without giving too much away?
Oh my God.
No spoilers allowed.
No spoilers. Favorite funny line?
Or moment.
Or
Scene.
moment. I mean, all of it, honestly. Yeah, there's someone in the show says a bucket of wigs, and it gets me every time.
I wasn't expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but I definitely wasn't expecting for you to say
expecting
bucket of wigs.
That's just a naturally
Bro.
funny phrase.
That could be like the new like, oh, my wig is gone. Oh, there's my bucket of wigs.
Bucket of wigs.
We're gonna
Bucket of
we're
wigs.
gonna make this.
Okay.
Going off of that, this cast is hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, Christopher Sieber, Brooks, Ashkamak.
Ashmanskis.
Ashmanskis.
Ashkamanza.
Come on.
Brooks, my friend Brooks. We got Beth. We got Christopher Sieber.
Yep.
What is like the rehearsal and like hangout experience
It's
been
insane.
like? Take us back there.
It's really weird for me because like in most of the scenes that I'm in with them, like I play like the straight man to their comedy, and so like being on stage with them is a nightmare because they just like go off and do all of these funny things, and I have to be like the stoic one, and I'm like, come on, I want to laugh at this, but I can't. But like the entire rehearsal process through the last like 4 years has been insane because like they all are so funny, and that's just them in real life. They don't have to work at it, or if they are working at it, they make it like seem effortless. But it's just like every day you come in and there are new jokes and new stories and new just like fun times, and it's ridiculous.
I love
It's so
that.
great.
And it's even better because you're going to take us behind the scenes.
Yeah!
Yay.
Guys, seriously, thank you so much for coming.
Of
This
course.
was such a thrill. Guys, please see the prom. It opens on
November 15th,
at the,
Longacre Theater.
and be sure to watch Dance With Me every Thursday starting November 8th.
Yay!
Our new Broadway.com blog.
Yeah.
Guys, seriously, go see the prom. See it in previews, and then see it again
Yeah.
after it opens, and you probably want to see it a third time already.
It's really good.
I'm telling you now, you're gonna see it multiple times. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Eric, could you take us out?
I'd love to. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are live at 5 every single day on Facebook. And you can listen to us in a podcast form by going to wherever you get your podcasts and searching Live at 5 and hitting that subscribe button. Tune in on Monday when we have Laura Osnes, former Cinderella, here to talk about Bandstand coming back to theaters.